We're here with our Colorado's best attorney, Phil Harding. Looks like you're getting a lot of questions from our viewers these days. So what kinds of questions are you getting?
Probably the biggest question that I get right now is if you're involved in a personal injury action, right?
Mm-hmm.
Car accident, hurt on the property of another. If you do it yourself, are you going to get more money? Or if you hire an attorney and pay for the attorney's fees and costs, will you get more money?
Okay, so what's the answer?
Well, the answer is in most every case, the answer is yes. And here's the reason why. First of all, if you represent yourself and you're in front of you're dealing with a claims adjuster, you deal with the lowest of low. They know that you don't know the law, and so they give you the lowest person so that they can try to bamboozle you and offer you next to nothing.
All right, we're going to start talking about adjusters. Why are there different adjusters?
Well, so the more senior an adjuster is, look, you've been doing it longer, right? You keep on moving up the totem pole. More seasoned adjusters have more authority, and the instant that you get an attorney, for example, if you're representing yourself, you get an attorney, generally there's a new adjuster involved. And the reason why there's new adjuster involved because of all these Colorado laws. And one of them that we're going to talk about right now is called the Collateral Source Doctrine. Fancy pants words, right? But let me tell you what it means. And we see these all the time. This is an EOB. And if you have health insurance, you see these all the time, whether you've sprained your ankle and gone to Swedish or if you've been in a car wreck. And so you, if you didn't have an attorney, you'd probably send this entire EOB over to the insurance company, and they'd look at this and they'd say, okay, in the middle it says the amount claimed or covered by the plan is $8,500. So that's how much we'll pay you on this, because really, even though the hospital billed $29,000, the plan is only covering $85,000, so that's what we'll pay you. Wrong. Collateral source doctrine says if a collateral source, namely your health insurance, marks something down, the other side's health insurance doesn't get to see it. And the reason why is because you have been paying for health insurance premiums, not the person that ran into you. So come back to me. Let's look at this. Here it is, EOB, right? This is how an attorney sends it to them. We're not being deceptive. We just say you are not entitled to see that. So on that one billing alone, you would have gotten $29,000 instead of the $8,500. So watch out for that.
All right. What other mistake do people make when they represent themselves?
Well, let's take the example of your health insurance. If your health insurance pays for that and pays $8,500 of that, they have a right to subrogate or get money back. So when you go to settle, if you didn't deal with that, later your health insurance may be knocking on your door and say, hey, pay me back that $8,500. But there's also a law in Colorado, it's called the Make Whole Law, that says if you hire an attorney, your health insurance has to reduce or maybe even eliminate how much your health insurance wants back. Because if your health insurance says, I want the $8,500 back, your attorney would say, wait a second, I've got a very nice client, she's paying me, you have to reduce it by the same proportion. So let's put this all together and let's look at it in this graphic. So if you hire yourself versus if you get an attorney, and it's kind of hard to tell here, but on the left-hand side, let's say you try to do it yourself, $8,500 the medical bill, and let's just assume that the other side is offering you 2 times the medical bills, right? Let's say you only did 1 treatment. They're going to offer you like $17,000. You subtract out that $8,500 you have to pay back. At the bottom, you see that you get $8,500. Under the collateral source doctrine, you're showing them $29,000. 2 times meds is $58,000, and then you subtract out the subrogation. The subrogation is not the $8,500, but your attorney will reduce it by at least 1/3 by negotiating because of that make whole law, and then you take out the attorney's fees, which is 1/3. So in this one scenario, with only 1 bill, you're going to get $33,000 versus $8,500, so 4 times as much. Wow. And also you're dealing with a higher adjuster, so man, you want to deal with higher adjusters. You don't want the low level, because the low level, they don't have that much authority. They can't give you that much money.
So in the end, do you have to pay back your health insurance?
You might. Again, in that scenario, if you get what's known as a full policy limit, so let's say the person that ran into you has state minimums of $25,000. If you get the full policy limits, this make whole law says if you get the full policy limits, you don't have to pay back your health insurance because it's presumed you are not made whole. You have to give a 60-day notice, and I'm not going to go into all that, but that's why you should talk to an attorney. Find out what your rights are, and I think when you go in and interview them, say, how much do you think you can get for me versus me doing it myself?
Yeah, I mean, that graphic said it all. 8,000 versus 33,000. I'd take the 33 for
Right.
sure. Well, if you have a question for our legal expert, go to kdvr.com and click on Colorado's Best. You're going to see Phil Harding's photo on the right. Just click there and send in your questions, and he will answer each question personally and confidentially. And to reach Harding and Associates directly, call 303-762-9500. You can also get a free consultation anytime, and you can find him online at hlaw.com.